Hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to be sharing several $5 dinners. Not only are they super inexpensive and easy to make, but they're very delicious and nutritious. So let's get started.
This is my list. I'm going to get some things at Walmart and some things at Aldi, and I'm going to try to stay under $40. First, I got one lime for 25 cents, then headed over to the cheese section and got an 8-ounce block of mozzarella for $2, 8-ounce block of cheddar cheese for $2, and then a 1-pound block of cheese for $3.86. Then got 2 of these small containers of Greek yogurt for 67 cents each. Then checked out the cottage cheese. I got a 24-ounce container for $2.58. Some chili beans for 88 cents a can, although I'm using some from my freezer. Then 1 package of tortillas for $1.56 today. I got corn tortillas. Then 2 cans of red enchilada sauce for $1.06 each. Then I picked up 1 pound of dry black beans for $1.38. This will make about 6 cups of cooked black beans, so it's a much better deal than buying the canned. Then we headed over to Parmesan cheese. I got this one here for $2.92. Then for a budget-friendly pasta sauce, this Hunt's is amazing at $1.42. Then we went to Aldi and grabbed some grape tomatoes for $2.47. Although if you want to save a little bit of extra money, you can just get some Roma tomatoes or beefsteak tomatoes. Those are usually 50 cents a pound or so and much cheaper. Then we went over and grabbed 1 3-pound bag of sweet potatoes for $2.69. You can get these for about 72 cents a pound at Walmart. And the potatoes were a great score, $2.49 for a 10-pound bag. They also had $2.68 for a 5-pound bag over at Walmart. So you can really get a great price on potatoes sometimes. Then green onions are 84 cents for a bunch, but I had some growing, so that's what I used. And then 1 pound here of ground turkey for $2.75 in the freezer section. They do have one similar priced at Walmart as well. And cream cheese was $1.39 this week, so I picked up one of those, and 1 pound of penne for $1.09. Walmart had it for about $1.12, so not much different. Then these small bags of elbow pasta are 29 cents each, so I went ahead and grabbed 2 bags of these, but you can grab as many as you like. But 60 cents for 2 bags for almost a full pound of elbow pasta is a great deal. And as far as the chicken goes, I took advantage of $1.77 a pound over at Vons. So that's what I'm going to be using for this meal plan. I usually buy in bulk and freeze and just use about a pound at a time for each meal. For this first recipe, I'm going to be making a ground turkey and black bean enchilada. It's super easy. First, we're going to start by making our beans for the week. I'm using the Instant Pot. I'm just going to go ahead and pick over the beans, rinse them, put them in the Instant Pot, add some water to cover about 6 cups or so. Then I'm just going to add some salt, a little pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder, and just put that on normal pressure for about 30 minutes. And then I'm just going to let it natural release for another 20 minutes or so before opening it, and then just storing this in the refrigerator for the rest of the week. Now, as far as beans go, you can definitely soak them overnight and just boil them on the stovetop for a couple of hours until they're nice and tender. It's really up to you, but this Instant Pot method makes it super fast, and I'm just going to be using half of those beans for this recipe. And next, I'm going to go ahead and cook my turkey. I'm just going to cook the entire pound because I'm going to be seasoning it the same way for both dishes. So I'm just going to brown the turkey and then add some taco seasoning, and I'm really going to make sure that I season this turkey really well because I want this taco seasoned meat to taste amazing for both dishes. It's going to carry most of the flavor, and so I'm going to be seasoning this a couple of times. Now, I made taco seasoning from scratch. I'll put the recipe in the description for you, but you can definitely just buy a little packet there if you want. It's about 50 cents for a packet of that. Now, I'm saving half of this turkey for the other recipe I forgot. Then I'll add half of those beans that we made and just heat that on through and add a little bit more taco seasoning for extra flavor. Again, the seasoning makes a huge difference for all of the dishes that I'm going to be making this week, so don't go light on the seasoning. Just make sure that you really season everything well. Then this is the cheese that I've shredded. I have just 4 ounces of mozzarella and 4 ounces of cheddar, so I'm just going to add maybe a couple tablespoons to this mixture here, just get it all melty and cheesy, and then set that aside. And I'm going to warm these tortillas. I've got 10 tortillas here. Just warm them in the microwave cupboard for about 30 seconds to a minute or so until they're nice and soft and warm. time. Then I'll add a couple of tablespoons of the enchilada sauce to the bottom of a 8x11 casserole dish. You can use any size that you have on hand though. Then I'm going to start rolling the filling into my tortillas. I like a nice thick enchilada, so I'm going to go ahead and do maybe about a 1/4 cup or so per tortilla, roll that up, and then put the seam side down on top of the sauce and just get that all nice and packed in there tightly to fit all of the enchiladas. Then I'm just going to use the rest of that filling and top it on top of the enchiladas there. It doesn't matter how pretty it looks. It's okay. It's all going to serve the same. I'm just going to make sure it's kind of evenly spread over the top for even cooking. And then I'll add the rest of that enchilada sauce over the top to make sure that it covers all of the tortillas as best as it can. Then I'll add the rest of that cheese there on the top just to make sure it's nice and evenly spread over the top there so it cooks evenly and browns nicely. And then I'm going to bake that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 to 30 minutes until everything is nice and golden brown and the filling is bubbly. And that's it. You can serve this one with Greek yogurt on top, and if you have green onions or cilantro, add that on top as well. It's delicious. This next recipe is a really easy loaded baked potato. It comes out to about $4.24 for the entire dinner. I'll take 4 or 5 russet potatoes, scrub them really well, then poke them with holes with a fork and top them with some oil. I used olive oil, but any oil will do. Just make sure it's nicely coated. Then I top it with kosher salt and put it in the oven at 425 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes until they're nice and tender and I can poke them easily with a fork. And in the meantime, I'm going to heat up my can of chili beans and add the rest of that ground turkey and just season it with some more taco seasoning to make sure the beans have the taco season flavor as well, and just heat it through. It really only takes a few minutes for it to get nice and hot, and you'll see that it looks a lot like chili. Then after those potatoes are cooked through, I'm just going to take them out of the oven and then I can just start loading them up. So I'm just going to load them with that filling and some cheese, and that's it. This next recipe is lazy lasagna, and it's a little bit more spendy at $6.71, but I promise it's worth it. It's a really large dish. So first, I'm going to start by softening some cream cheese. I'm just using half of the cream cheese, but you can actually use the entire block if you want it to be a little bit more filling. And then I grated my mozzarella cheese, as you see, but I'm only using half of this, just 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese for this dish. And again, if you want more mozzarella, you can always add more as you like. Then I'll use about 16 ounces of the cottage cheese for this and add that to the bowl with the softened cream cheese. Then I'll add the dried parsley and Italian seasoning and give that a good mix. And then I'm cooking some penne pasta in the meantime. So once that's cooked through, I just add that to this mixture and just get it nice and coated. Maybe use a little bit bigger of a bowl than I'm using. I always tend to use a small bowl on accident. And then we're going to start layering just like a lasagna. So I'm grabbing my pasta sauce. This is what I had on hand. I'm just going to add about 1/4 to 1/2 cup of pasta sauce to the bottom, and that's just to make sure things don't stick after they're done cooking. Then I'm going to put half of that pasta mixture down into the container and just kind of push it down a little bit so it's a little bit more even. And then I'm going to top that with about half of the pasta sauce and some Parmesan cheese and 1/3 of that mozzarella cheese. And again, we're just going to do another layer of the same thing. So I'm going to add the rest of the pasta mixture, making sure that it's really evenly spread. And then I will top it with the remaining pasta sauce, Parmesan cheese, and mozzarella. And I also like to add a little bit of Parmesan to the top just to make sure it gets really nice and browned. That's what gives you that nice brown crust when you make a lasagna after you pull it out, is that Parmesan cheese, because it gets really nice and browned. We're just going to bake this in the oven at 350 degrees for about 25 minutes covered with foil. Now, when you cover it with foil, you want to make sure that it doesn't touch the cheese, or you can spray the foil with nonstick spray so the cheese does not come off when you remove the foil after the first 25 minutes. Then after we remove the foil, we're going to cook it for another 25 to 30 minutes or until that cheese is browned and melty and the pasta is bubbly. Once that's cooked through, you can either let it rest for 5 or 10 minutes, or you can just serve it right away. It's not going to fall apart like a regular lasagna, so there's nothing to worry about there. And this dish is so filling. You may have up to 6 servings with this one, but it's really delicious and as great as leftovers as well. I hope you love this one. This next recipe is one of my favorites, loaded sweet potato fries, and it comes out to about $5.43. So for this recipe, I'm going to be using the sweet potatoes, some grape tomatoes. You can use all of them or just half, then some Greek yogurt, a lime, and the other half of those cooked black beans. Now first, I'm just going to start by peeling my sweet potatoes and cutting them into fry shape. Now you can do 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, whatever you like. As far as fries go, I like to make them a little bit thinner so that way they crisp up nicely. But if you like more of a wedge fry, you can definitely do that. Then I'll add all of those to a bowl and I'm going to toss them with some avocado oil, but you can use olive oil if you like, some chili powder, and some salt and pepper. I always start with just salt and pepper though, because my kids don't like spicy. So I'll season with salt and pepper and then just set a few aside, then toss it with chili powder for me and my husband because we really like spicy. You can have a lot of fun with the spices here too. If you have anything interesting or different, you can add that to the fries, like maybe some sriracha seasoning. Really, just the sky's the limit with the seasonings here. Then I'm just going to put those on a baking sheet, and the oven is preheated to 425 degrees, and I'm just going to bake these for about 30 to 45 minutes, and I'm just going to toss them halfway through just to make sure that they get evenly crispy all over. And in the meantime, I'm going to be making my lime yogurt sauce. It's really easy, just some Greek yogurt, a garlic clove, some fresh lime juice, and salt. Now, if you don't have a garlic clove on hand, you can use garlic powder, and that will work great, or you can just omit the garlic altogether. Now, I'm going to grate my cheese, and when you're tossing your sweet potatoes, try to bring the outside sweet potatoes towards the center and the center ones towards the outside to make sure they're nice and crispy. Now, I had some cilantro on hand. I just keep it in a jar in the fridge, and it lasts about a month or so like that, maybe even longer. So I did use a little bit of cilantro for my topping, but that's totally optional. And here are the fries. Now, again, I'm just bringing some of these to the outside if they're in the inside, and the inside to the outside. And that really does help make sure that everything is nice and crispy and even, and you'll notice that they won't burn that way if you do it like that. And making sure they have enough space between them so that way they get nice and crispy. Oh my goodness, these fries, you've got to try them. They're one of my favorites. Then I'm just going to put them on a plate and add all the toppings. Now, you can heat those black beans if you like, or you can just place them on the fries cold and then add the cheese and put them under the broiler for just a minute or so until the cheese is nice and melty. That's totally up to you. I like to heat the beans, but it really doesn't make a huge difference either way. You can eat them, just like this. Then I'll just add all of the toppings, my grape tomatoes that I've quartered or halved, and then add the lime Greek yogurt sauce and some cilantro that I've chopped and some green onions. You can add hot sauce. And if you have any leftover chicken or brisket, tri-tip, any leftovers, any avocado, you can add that too. It really makes this an epic plate. Next is an enchilada chicken stuffed sweet potato, and this is $5.94 approximately for this meal, and it's a slow cooker meal, and so it's very easy to put together, and then it's basically no work after that. So we're just going to put a little bit of the enchilada sauce down on the bottom of my slow cooker to make sure there's no sticking. Then I'm just going to add the chicken to one side of the slow cooker and top that with some more enchilada sauce. If you have a smaller slow cooker, you can definitely put the chicken on the bottom and sweet potatoes on top. But in this case, I'm putting the sweet potatoes on the side there. They need a little bit of moisture there in order to cook properly. And then they'll just cook on low for 5 to 6 hours until those sweet potatoes are cooked through and nice and tender. And that chicken is 165 degrees or greater internally. Then I'm just going to shred that chicken and stir it in with the enchilada sauce. And then I'll remove those sweet potatoes and then place the lid back on over the chicken so the chicken has some time to really incorporate into that sauce and get really nice and moist and delicious. And right before serving, I added a little bit more enchilada sauce just to make sure it was really nice and saucy and had a lot of that enchilada flavor. Gave it a good stir, and then I just put the lid on as I prepared everything else. And then I just loaded my sweet potatoes. I just cut them a little bit like this and then push them so that way the middle there is exposed and it doesn't fall apart. Then I'll just add the shredded chicken to that. And the toppings that I used was just a little bit of cheddar cheese, some green onions, cilantro, and hot sauce. And that's it for this one. So easy. It comes together super fast. I love this one. Next is my crazy easy macaroni and cheese at $3.94. It's one of the least expensive meals in the entire plan, but it's full of flavor and my kids absolutely devour this every single time that I make it. So I've made it several times now. Now to a blender, I'm just going to add the cottage cheese and some milk and some seasonings. I'm using garlic powder, salt, pepper, and a little bit of ground mustard. That's the secret for extra flavor. Then I'll add a little bit of the shredded cheddar here and just give it a good blend. I'm just blending blending it because I want those cottage cheese curds to be really nice and smooth, but it's optional. You absolutely can just throw all this in a pot and it'll be totally fine. Just omit the shredded cheddar if you're not going to be blending it, because we're just going to add a bunch at the end anyway. Once the sauce is nice and blended and smooth, I'll add it all to my large pot and put it on the stove on really low heat. I don't want to overheat this because it will separate. Then as I'm cooking the pasta, I'm adding a little bit of pasta water. That's going to help make this sauce really creamy and make sure that the cheese doesn't separate. Then I'll turn off the heat and add my shredded cheese and just get that nice and melty. And then I will strain out the pasta and then add the cooked pasta to the cheese here. Now it's going to look really, really saucy at first, and that's okay. You're just going to let it sit for a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, to let it really set up, and it'll be a really nice, creamy, delicious, smooth macaroni and cheese. I promise you're going to absolutely love this one. I hope you try it, and I hope you love it just as much as we do. Lastly, as a bonus, I just wanted to show you can make a few quesadillas with any leftover cheese that you have and those tortillas. We're also going to have a little bit of cream cheese left over, and of course you might have some potatoes if you bought the potatoes in bulk. And if you have any suggestions for how to use some of those leftover ingredients that we have, please leave them in the comments. I would love to hear it.
I hope you enjoyed those recipes and at least got a few ideas for things to make in your home. Don't forget that you can get this meal planner on Amazon. It's down below in the description. It has all of the inventory pages and pages for keeping track of what you want to shop for and what you're going to be eating every day, plus some notes pages in the back. And that link is down below for you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to see more, and put those little bell on for notifications so you get notified every time I post. Have a wonderful day. Bye.